My next guest fights for the interim CombatFC Bantamweight title on September 13th when he faces Carlos Lozoya. He is Tom Picciano. How's it going today, Pooch?
It's going great, Zach. Thanks for having me on.
Perfect. So I was kind of ranting before we headed on here. This has been a long time coming on my end. I always had you bookmarked, never really reached out in time because I also hate booking so close to a fight. This is like the prime optimal time to get a hold of you. You also work like third shift, so I'm not trying to really copy your schedule either. But we are about 3 weeks out from your first pro title fight. How's everything coming along so far?
It's going great. This is honestly everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, this is the best camp ever. But this is honestly my best camp ever. I'm in the best shape. Weight's coming off easy. We're getting solid sessions in, solid spars, solid drill sessions. Everything's just falling into place the way it needs to.
Obviously a win here. You get the interim title. Normally, it's always, what's next is the unification title. I kind of touched on this again before we hit record, but the unification would be against your teammate. So, like, is it going to kind of be like whoever gets the first offer kind of fights it, or you guys going to wait and see who gets what first? What's the game plan after you win?
I don't really know. I mean, I'm definitely not going to fight him for a regional title or regional pay. I mean, if he comes back to combat and they want him to defend it, that's fine. It's his belt. He stepped up, did big dog stuff, and took a fight on a week's notice at LFA. It didn't go his way, and he asked me to step up and go for the interim. So of course I took it. But if combat wants me to fight for it against somebody else, say his scheduled opponent Jay Presley, I'll be more than happy to do that.
When Ashik won, he beat John Duma, another like big name up in the area. You go around, you get Carlos Lozoya, another big name up in the area. Kind of built his repertoire down in Fury FC down in Texas, though. How do you think you match up with them, and then how do you see this fight going?
I think this is a great matchup for me. If you look at my film, I like to strike and put on a show for everybody. But I can definitely grapple with the best of them. I've been wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu and stuff like that my entire life. And he's a 25er. He's built like a 25er. He's 5'5". He's got like a 66-inch reach or something like that. So I got the height, I got the weight, I got the reach. And to be honest, in my eyes, he's more of just a specialist. Like, he can't really strike. And those days in MMA are like way over. You need to be able to do it all with everybody. You need to be able to strike, you need to be able to grapple, you need to have submissions, you need to have it all. And I don't really see anything threatening from him in the striking department. So in 3 weeks from now, I'm going to expose that, definitely.
And coming into this fight itself, you're 5-2 officially. I think we can call you 6-1. The one decision was not accurate at all, despite what New Jersey wants to say it was. He's not 9-4. I'll say it so you don't have to put it that way.
All right.
He's 9-4. So great little matchup for regional. This is what a regional title should be. Records like that going against each other. He's also been several times on like UFC's Fight Pass Fighters to Watch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you're like right on the cusp of that. You just never had the opportunity to really be on main cards. You were always kind of shoveled down to the prelims on OnlyFans and YouTube. I think you had one on Fight Pass, and that's the fight where the judges fucked it up. How does it feel to that this is going to be your kind of like showcase to those who like don't watch the prelims? Can you explain, I guess, more so like your fight style to like why people should tune in for your fight?
Well, obviously I'm always trying to get the win. I'm always trying to, grab a finish, but I'm trying to give the people their money's worth. You know what I mean? I'm going in there, 100 miles an hour every time. I'm trying to hurt you. I understand you're trying to hurt me. And it's, kind of just like two cars crashing into each other when I get in there. I force it to be ugly. I'm not there to do the dance and point fight and this and that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hurt you. And that's what people want to see. People want to see blood. People want to see, big shots landed. People want to just see a fight. They don't want to see, guys hugging each other up against the cage and sitting out in guard for, half the round, a whole round, hunting for submissions all the time. Like, that's a snoozer. People get up and go grab a beer and go hit the bathroom when that happens, you know? Like, I don't want anybody even on their phone during my fight unless they're recording it to post it online and be like, yo, look at this. Like, this was crazy. So that's definitely why people should always tune into a Tom Pooch fight.
Yeah, and I mean, you always still bring the energy. Somehow, even during weigh-in week, like the final weight cut, you still somehow have energy. Last time your opponent's only energy was at the weigh-ins. He had nothing in the cage, which was weird. I've never seen someone mouth off when you weren't getting paid and then have nothing in the actual fight. But outside of that, I guess what was your last one? Outside of that, you are at Long Island MMA. It's a gym that like people know, but I don't think they like realize they know it. Like they know like Brian Boone, they know Chris Wade, they know Gregor Gillespie when he was around and wasn't fishing or whatever he's been up to. Leading into your teammates there, like who have you been training for this one since you're all kind of in camp right now?
Yeah, I mean, we got a very, very solid team of, guys like regional pros, like Ashika Jim, the current champ at Combat. We got John Caldone, we got Adam Livingston, we got the O'Day brothers, John and Brian. We got Chris Big Nog Guarilia, and then we got a couple of new guys that just joined the team. John Hancock, he's a solid 145er. We got this kid, Roman. I have no idea how to say his last name, but he's 4-0 on the amateur scene, getting ready to make his pro debut soon. We got Andrew Stock. He's on the Ring of Combat card. And I know I always forget somebody, and it's always somebody different every time, and I always feel like an asshole. But we just have a plethora of talent over there. It's really just the best gym to be at if you're trying to get better and, get solid attention from the coaches. The coaching staff is Brian Michelino, Greg DiPasquale, Ryan LaFleur. They all put in a great deal of time for us, in film study and like specific game plans for each opponent, like staying late, coming early. It's really just like a real team environment, like, because that's what you're looking for. Even though MMA, it's one-on-one, it's you versus the guy there. Like, you're only as good as your team and your training partners and your coaches. So I'm really just blessed to be over there. And September 13th, we're going to show why we are the spot.
Yeah, September 13th, you have a batch on this card. The 20th, you have a batch on Ring of Combat card. You hint to that. Who's all coming up for this one with you? And more so, like, who's going to be the corner for this one?
Well, I'm going to have Brian, Ryan, and Greg. And then for my fourth, it's going to be my brother, Steve. He's an amateur fighter. He's big into MMA also. I got, my teammates are going to come. I got my friends, my family. We're definitely going to pack the house. And with those other guys on the card with me as well, their friends, their family's going to be there. So it's going to be like we're the home team almost, because between me and Caldone, we're selling, 75 tickets. And John Hancock, I'm assuming he's going to get, 20, 30. So we'll have 100 Long Island guys. Well, Hancock's really from Jersey, but, we'll have a bunch of guys over there, cheering for the boys. So even though the fight's up in Massachusetts, you're going to have that hometown Long Island's energy in there for sure.
Yeah, I was going to kind of be my next question because, I mean, I've seen you in Philly. I've seen you in Atlantic City. Not too bad of a travel from the island.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, like, even the Massachusetts drive isn't that bad either. It's just you're now meshing rivalries. The Long Island, Boston crews tend to go against each other, and but you guys are going to travel. It's going to be loud there. It's going to feel like you guys are fighting back at Triton or what is now Flex.
Yeah.
Or even down at AC. So outside of that, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. You have sponsors, you have teammates and shout outs you want to give. Pass the mic to you to kind of give that up, and we'll wrap it up afterwards. Mike's all yours.
I just want to shout out my friends, family, and teammates. You guys support me endlessly. I do this for you guys. Shout out to my manager, Christian Fernandez, for getting me the fight. And shout out to anybody who's ever sponsored me. for any fight. I didn't really fish too much for sponsors this time just because it kind of came together so quickly. And this is the big one, so I wanted to focus on it. But if you've ever given me a single dollar for helping me out with a fight camp or throwing a name on a T-shirt or anything, just buying protein, buying gear, anything like that. Shout out to my numerous jobs, my exterminating company, my boss Sergio. Shout out to the bosses over at Regulators Security. Shout out to the guys over at Casino Bar for the security. You guys just make this possible, keeping money in my pocket so I can pay my gym dues and pay my bills and stay in the gym, giving me time off when I need, working around my ridiculous schedule. You guys really, I do the training, but it's the people that support me and, keep me paid that make this happen.
Perfect. And you kind of said it best. It's not just the fighter, it's in the cage, it's the team that surrounds them. And it's not always just the team in the gym as well. It's those teams who give you those days off to go chase your dream up in Massachusetts like you're going to do on September 13th, getting your first pro title. We can just look past that interim tag, TBD, on wherever that title goes from there. Outside that,
Can I say one more thing? I forgot a very important person. Shout out to my girl, Brittany. You always support me and deal with my weight cut nonsense and me being hangry and having, being tired and not wanting to do shit and this and that. I love you, girl.
Awesome. And then, UFC Fight Pass, main card this time. None of that prelim bullshit. I think you're actually even the main event, if not the co-main, depending on how the weight classes flow. UFC Fight Pass, September 13th. Best of skill. And where was Stuart Little on 9/11?
Yo, I love you for that. That was awesome. I don't know. He has a plane. He has a motive. You tell me.